Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here by myself. Usually Walter is here. I have not heard from him. Usually Donovan's not here. He's having somewhat of an emergency with his doggy, so hopefully she's gonna be okay. But nevertheless, I am here. The purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people with the emphasis on even because we are great people, but we can always strive to do better. Like I said, big giant thank you and welcome to YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Not only are you just viewers, but you are family as well. Sometimes I share the link, not always when I'm by myself, but I might try to do it today. Anyway, if I do share the link, all I ask is that I see your face if I don't normally see you up here before I bring you up to the big screen so I can verify that it's, you and no shenanigans or anything like that. Nevertheless, we are going to talk about the Netflix movie. I think it was in the theaters as well. I saw it on Netflix called Leave the World Behind with Julia Roberts, Mahershala Ali, Kevin Bacon, and Ethan Hawke, and another actress, Mahalia, I think her name is, Malala, I think her name is. Nevertheless, we're going to talk about that. So hopefully you saw it. Try not to give too many spoilers, but there might be some. I can't promise you that I won't do that. But I saw the movie. Hello, Thunder. Where you been? Missy, Miss, how you doing? Shanika, what's going on? Troy and Lynette, how are you from Montgomery, Alabama? Um, so yeah, I'll try not to give any spoilers or whatever. But when I saw the movie a couple of days ago, I wasn't freaked out, like, oh my gosh, like scared. I was more or less kind of freaked out because it's like, wow, okay, uh, this is kind of a warning, right? And of course, we've been warned a lot, and I'll do my best to give you guys a synopsis of the movie. Who else is on here? Black America. It says, where's everyone's what? Where eight's everyone's Christmas shopping? So you're saying where's everyone at Christmas shopping? I mean, maybe so. I don't know. I'm not Christmas shopping. Old salty man, how you doing? And thank you so much. So anyway, as I said, normally Walter would be here. I don't know where he is. Y'all know Walter got 50, 11 things going on in his life and all of that. Arneva, what is going on with you? So anyway, of course, I will not show y'all any trailers or anything like that because I'll get in trouble. But hopefully you guys, if y'all seen it, can you put yes or whatever if you've seen the movie again on Netflix? Of course, you guys know we always venture off into other topics, but I want to stay on this for at least 20 to 30 minutes. And I'll go ahead and put this up here so y'all can see exactly what I'm talking about. Let me actually move this. Suburbia Jones. Okay, so you saw it. How you doing, by the way? Let me move this banner. So that is the movie. It's a few posters actually. That's what I saw. So you can see the characters: Julia Roberts, Ethan Hawke. I call him a Hershey bar because he's chocolate. Mahershala Ali and my Hala. So I think that's how you say her name. Great actress. Novel, how you doing? You say, yeah, okay, you saw it too. Okay, old salty man, you saw it as well. Arneva says, I haven't seen it, but I like the title. Yes, it's I'm gonna try my best not to give you guys any spoilers, but if I do, I apologize. Kind of hard to talk about it without it. Okay, so as I said, this weekend, I sat down with my daughter. We've been hearing a lot about it online. Some people said they liked it. I think a lot of people said they liked it, but there were some people who said they didn't like it. And a lot of people said they didn't like the ending of the movie, which it was kind of like my favorite part. But I get why people say they didn't like it, and I try not to tell you why. But it was my favorite part of the movie. But nevertheless, okay. So Julia Roberts, she's in the movie married to Ethan Hawke. Okay, they have two children, and they're going away. And as you can see in the background, looks like it's New York or something. I think they're from New Jersey, but nevertheless, wherever they went is outside of New York. So they went to this Airbnb for the weekend. That's kind of by the beach and all that other stuff. So Julia Roberts, her husband, and the two children, they go off this nice Airbnb. And then while they were on the beach, something kind of crazy happened. Again, I won't tell you exactly what happened in case you want to watch it. Something crazy happened. So, they left and went back home. Didn't really think much of it, although it was like really freaky, right? So, as they're home or whatever, Mahershala and his daughter, so my Hala, I think she's playing his daughter in the movie. Okay. So later on that night, they show up and Mahershala is like, hey, how you doing? This is actually our house. We rented it to you. But do you mind if we stay here with you? Because there's like a big giant power outage in New York. And he says that, they were at this ball or whatever, some orchestra, opera, or something like that. So they're like, they being Julia Roberts, and I'm like, how do we know it's your house? So nevertheless, they acquiesce and let them in, and they're all kind of not trusting each other and all of that. So at the end of it all, it was a cyber attack. Okay, it was a cyber attack that happened. And apparently all of the United States, I'm assuming, shut down eventually, right? Everything shut down and a lot of stuff happened. And it really was like, to me, when I saw the movie, it was like a warning because we've been hearing this stuff a lot, right? Especially via like the Nation of Islam. Some people say, okay, the Bible's been warning, store your food and your water. Oh, I should also say Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon was also in the movie, which was one of my favorite characters. And he wasn't there in the movie that long, but his character was so impactful. I think it was the glue to the whole story. Okay. So basically the premise of this movie is, hey, the world is not the same. It's this major shutdown. There's a cyber attack. All these weird things start happening. The animals start doing kind of freaky things, and stuff starts falling out of the sky. Like a lot of stuff is going on. Put it this way. I would say everything that's dependent upon the satellites, outer space, like AI and all that stuff malfunctioned. Let's just put it that way. All that stuff malfunctioned, and people were more or less like, what do we do? Right? And so I want to bring in Kevin Bacon's character. Now, he had his stuff together, and I'm just going to say that. He heeded the warning of store your food. I'm going to get to y'all comments too. Store your food, store your water, get your ammo, and make sure you got everything you got that you're going to need in case the world shuts down, or per the title, you have to leave the world behind, right? Make sure you're good. And he had to kind of remind them, because, they went and saw him, and I'm trying my best not to tell y'all why, but he had to say, and what did he say? And I wrote it down. He says, haven't you been picking up on what's been going on out there? He's like, what do you want me to do? You guys have been warned. Then he also says, I'm going to remove this. He also says, y'all got to go past the headlines. Basically, y'all can't just be reading up on the memes, and social media. Like, you got to do some deep diving and figure out stuff for yourself. And that conversation kind of came along with one of the other characters, when the other character was like, I just don't know what to do. And that's when Kevin Bacon was like, what you want me to do? So with that, the conversation of the first law of nature comes into play. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to preserve myself. I can't help you. Best I can do is maybe give you a little bit of good advice, but I can't give you what I got, type of thing, right? So moving toward the end of the movie, there's a lot of stuff going on. And there's another important thing that I want to ponder as well. Moving toward the end of the movie, and I promise you I'm going to get to all y'all comments, toward the end of the movie, which a lot of people said, I didn't understand. It was kind of stupid, right? I loved it. I love the ending because I like movies that make you think. I don't always like to watch movies that just give everything to you, right? They give everything to you. And it really made you think. And my daughter and I watched it, and we got it right away. Right away, I understood what the meaning of that movie meant. But so I'm asking, for those of y'all who saw it, is it fact? Is it fiction? Now, the other thing is, this movie was produced by Barack and Michelle Obama, their company, Higher Ground, because, they have a big giant deal with Netflix. It's their movie. So the question that I had was, well, why would they produce such a movie, especially since he, was the president of the United States at one point in time? Why would he and Michelle be making such a movie? So when I thought about it for a minute, I said, okay, I know why they made that movie or allowed it or was allowed to go out per se, because they know most people ain't gonna heed the warning. Most people will watch the movie from an entertainment standpoint. They won't watch it from a, oh my God, do I have enough food? Do I have enough water? Am I prepared like to live off the grid? You know what I mean? And my daughter and I had a conversation, and I was like, Deanna, when I was coming up, we learned how to read maps, Thomas guides, right? We knew how to read maps or whatever. We could get where we needed to go. We didn't have a GPS or a phone or even, a watch. If I have my GPS on, my watch will, buzz and stuff to tell me that something, the turn or whatever is coming up next. But the question is, could you get to where you needed to go without depending on AI, your cell phone, GPS, or whatever the case is, right? So I'm gonna get to you guys' comments. Hopefully, I didn't give you guys any spoilers, because I know some of y'all have not seen it, but I think it's really a must-see movie, because I believe that we are already there, and a lot of us just don't realize it. So let me get into the comment section. All right, so who came on here? Okay, so a lot of y'all said you saw it, and I thought you said you saw it. It was a damn good movie. Well, I know you. I know you know. I know you prepared. You Kevin Bacon in the movie. You're Kevin Bacon. And Navo says the young black girl was on point, wasn't she? Remember what she told her daddy, Mahershala? Remember what she said about the people, the other people? She was right on point. Like, that was a big reminder, especially to us. Like, okay, they cool until they not. Ron Terrell, how you doing? Says Demetra, not to be a spoiler, but the ending is what really confused me. Well, I tell y'all about the ending, but I know some of y'all haven't seen it. I will give you my opinion without telling y'all what happened. If that's okay with y'all, I'm gonna get to the bottom. If y'all okay with me trying to explain my interpretation of the ending, I would love to do that. But if y'all don't want me to, then I won't. Black America says, sounds like a girl movie. Okay, yeah, you're gonna be the main one talking about hey, Kevin Bacon, how you doing? Can you help me? It was far from a girl movie. Novel says, it really makes you think. Oh, yes. Thunder says, did you see how Julia Roberts acted when he said it was his, it was his house? She was like, how did this get this house when I'm living in an apartment? Yeah, because you got to kind of admit to Mahershala, it seemed like he was kind of sketchy, almost like he was up to no good, because it was kind of took him a while to kind of really just say, hey, this my house. But his daughter was like, this our house. Why we got to do A, B, C, and D in our house? You know what I mean? So yeah, but Julia's character did kind of come off like that, like, sure it is your house, because it was a beautiful, fabulous, nice house. Okay. So yes. April, how you doing? Long time no see. You say the ending had us feeling like Rose felt the entire movie. But I'll explain to you if you guys like me to. And Thunder says, I've been saying for a while to stock up and get prepared. Yes, a lot of people are unprepared. Especially at the end of the movie, you saw what happened and where what the house that was actually prepared is like. Oh wow, and from what I heard, I don't know how true it is. Mark Zuckerberg, isn't he supposed to be building some big giant underground bunker? Because y'all know back in like the 50s and stuff like that, the 40s, 50s and all that, they had underground bunkers because, in case of nuclear war or something like that jumped off. And so they built things underground and where they have food and water and stuff where they could survive for a long period of time if something like that were to happen. So it looks like people may be getting back into that, Old Salty Man says that would be me, Kevin Bacon character. Okay, so we got a couple of Kevin Bacons up in here. In April, you say Ethan Hawke character represents the clueless and represents active people. Man, who you telling? That to me was so profound. That conversation between them two, and it was what, maybe 3, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. That conversation, to me, they could have just started the movie and ended it with that conversation right there, because that was really eye opening. You know what I mean? And when it was crunch time, he couldn't deliver. He simply did not know how to deliver. And that's a lot of people, you know. Uh oh, you say, yeah, reactive people. Okay, novel says he was right. That's where I am now. Okay. Old Salty Man says I did pre-COVID and it was a buzz underling in media and other platforms. Okay. And Thunder says the movie had a lot of Easter eggs. Yes, it did. And I'm still trying to, I'm gonna watch it again, but I'm still trying to uncover a lot of them to see exactly, what I missed and all that other stuff, because it was a really good movie. Ron Charles says, I think Rose's character represents some people are natural survivors. Okay. I didn't get that, but I guess I get where you're going, because yeah, she was kind of, missing in action for a while. But I get where you're going, but I didn't get that. And I'll explain to you. Complex Blackness, how you doing? Says, I've been heeding warnings. Better be prepared. A lot of people are not prepared. They're gonna be, hey, just wondering if you have some water that I can borrow. And you're gonna get a hell no. Because if I give you a bottle of water, then what happens when I need it? You ain't got nothing to loan me, because the world is shut down, right? There, you can't get, water from anywhere. Your money is no good anywhere, So and April says karmatic retribution. Okay. And Old Salty Man says, my family thought I was crazy. He says bam, COVID shut down. Okay. Mondial, how you doing? Long time no see. He says yo team. All right. Novel says exactly. Black America says the world has been ending for thousands of years. No, no one knows the time. I think that's what you meant. Yeah, no one knows the time. But what if it doesn't completely end and you stuck here thirsty or hungry or hurt? How do you help yourself? The average logical thinker, how you doing? It says, hey, Demetra in chat. And Thunder says, question, did anyone else have family who talked crap about them being crazy when COVID-19 popped up, and then all the phone calls started asking for help and advice? I was one of those people. I didn't really go out much. I stayed in the house, went to the store type of thing. So I wasn't really around people much. But yeah, a lot of people, they were on a whole bunch of stuff that seemed to be crazy. Some people were, and some people weren't. They were right on the money. Manrico, how you doing? He says, please do spoilers. I mean, I don't want to unless you guys want me to. I'm trying my best not to. Novel says, nah, it's not a girl movie yet. April said the movie had a lot of hidden messages. Yes, it did. El Sanchez, how you doing? Says, much love to you, Demetra. Where is that Donovan? Is that what you mean? I don't know. He's Donovan's dog is not feeling well, and he had to rush her to the veterinarian. So I'm not sure, he hasn't updated me what's going on, but that's where Donovan is. And he's usually not here on Wednesdays. Walter usually is, but I don't know where he is. Yeah, your average logical thinker says people been talking about preparing for years, but we don't pay attention until it's on the big screen. Yep. And even then, we don't pay attention. Even then, it's like, next, what's on? What's coming up next? Manrico says, not a girl movie, a thinker's movie. Thomas Blackness says, a girl movie. It's nowhere near a girl movie. I don't even know how Black America even got that from what I said. Maybe because, he feels like I'm a woman and I don't know, only women can like, I don't know. My dial says they getting ready. Yes, indeed. Bobby Kemp, how you doing? Says, I haven't seen the movie, but I'm prepared to live off the grid. Big ups to Demetra K. Love you, sis. Love you back. Yeah, I mean, that's really the question. Who's prepared to live off of the grid? Now, of course, now when we talk about the grid, we talk about not cell phones, computers, any of that stuff. Like this old school getting it out the mud, right? Who's prepared to actually do that? Yeah, it's like, okay, so yeah, Black America be on one. Mondal says that gun got me thinking. Are you talking about Kevin Bacon? I mean, that's real life. That's gonna be real life. He's like, what you want me to do about it? Hey, Only Pamela's Way, how you doing? Brother Jonah, what's going on with you? And Thunder says, my vote, talk about the movie. Okay, so you want me to talk about the movie? Hey, Brother Sammy, how are you doing? Walaikum salam to you. And JBWR, he says, great movie. And how you doing, by the way? CG, what's going on with you? Thunder says, DK, did you watch the Twilight Zone episode, The Shelter? This will give you a hint as to what might happen. Yeah, but I need to watch it again. When holidays come up, I like to try to watch the Twilight Zone marathons. I said I was going to do it last time, Thanksgiving. I didn't. El Sanchez, he says, Tariq has been speaking about this a little over a year. You just have to be prepared, making sure you always have plenty of beans, lots of spices, plenty of bottled water, at least 10 to 70 cases of water. Oh, yeah, at least, right? Yeah, but Tariq has been talking about it. The nation has been talking about it forever as well. So, of course, it's not a new idea, right? I mean, every time I talk to my dad, he's like, store your food in your water. Make sure you're storing your food in your water, you know. So absolutely, Brother John, says excellent movie. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Yep, because you know who's going to be Ethan Hawke's character, who's going to be Julia Roberts' character, even Mahershala. You know, I wouldn't want to be them. You know, so I want to be Kevin Bacon. I want to be in his house. And I use how you doing? It says station. 1619 was talking about the first slave ship, the White Lion. Yes, I heard about that because that's kind of the thing that happened on the beach, you know. And Rose, the little girl, she was kind of intuitive to me, it seems like, you know, because she kept on trying to warn them when they were on the beach. That ship is getting closer. And they all went to sleep, and she's still watching the ship, and she's like, the ship is getting closer. And then it eventually got closer. So yeah, that's what that was, the White Lion. Michael, how you doing? Says a lot of people, a lot of police have contributed to America's not being prepared for the inevitable, including climate change, COVID-19, etc. He says police, or do you mean people? Okay, I see you said policies. Got you. El Sanchez says, I'm surprised that you don't have your beautiful eyeshadow on. I don't know where eyeshadow. All right. He says, Moni says she would love to have seen you with lavender lips. Looks great on you. Are you doing a show on Sunday? Sunday's Christmas Eve. Yeah, I plan to. I don't celebrate per se. Tell Moni I said hello. Hello, William. How are you? And you also say, I saw the movie and I was glad I did not pay money to see it. So you didn't like it. What didn't you like about the movie? Because I heard a lot of people did not like the movie. So I'm just curious. John, how you doing? He says, please spoil. Let's discuss my diva. Okay, I will. If y'all want me to, I just, I know some people haven't seen it. Maybe they want to see it. Old Salty Man says, stay fit and stock up. Make friends with veterans. You ain't lying. I'm actually friends with a few veterans. They who know their stuff. Only Pamela's Way says, I saw this movie and it's really interesting how they're telling things not only in this movie but in quite a few. And isn't it another movie coming out in the spring called Civil War? From what I understand, yes. Isn't that movie supposed to be connected to this movie? From what someone was telling me, Mondale says, Sin 10. He says, get Netflix and you'll get Netflix. Is that what that means? I don't know. And he says, I'm going to read the book. Yeah. So it's actually based off of a book. Old Salty Man, he says, stay fit. Okay, yeah. So I read that. And hello, Easy. It's a world famous, really. Hope you're doing well. Tito, how you doing? He says, Donovan got a dog. Also, I thought he loved cats. Oh, yeah, he has, I think it's 4 cats. 4 cats and a dog now. He's got Misty, Tylen, T'Challa, and George. Yeah, so he's got 4 cats and a dog, Belle, a girl dog, Belle, and she's not feeling well. The Hula Gang, how you doing? How are you? He says, no YouTube. Black America says, day after tomorrow, 2012, The Walking Dead people are surviving. Life will go on. Okay, let's hope so. Super Star Rising, how you doing? Says, did anyone pick up the white woman lusting for the black man? Obama's team. Yeah. You talking about Julia and Mahershala when they were listening to the music? Yeah. But I'm thinking, Well, I don't know. I don't know. Mahershala, just the person in real life, would he have really been down with that role? Because I was like surprised. I was like, are they going? I won't spoil it, but yeah, I thought that was interesting as well, especially per the dynamics of what was going on. Everybody was at the house, right? GP, how you doing? Says can't be here for too long. Have another date in 45 minutes. But thank you so much. I appreciate that. Be safe out there. And John says, right, need YouTube. Okay. Suburbia, he says the ending was the best part. It's reminiscent of movies like 10 Cloverfield Lane, The Sixth Sense, and The Hangover. Yes, indeed. I love the ending. I really did. And I am redeemed. How you doing? He says, where's the nerdy dude that usually be on here? You talking about Donovan? Yeah, he's looking after his dog. She's not feeling well. He had to rush her to the vet. Your average logical thinker says, I like the two daughters. Characters both were most aware of their surroundings in real life. Yeah, the two daughters, they were on it. Absolutely. William says, the only person prepared to live off the grid are those who remember life before the grid came to be. Yeah, that's what I was telling my daughter. So we didn't have GPS or any of that kind of stuff. You know, if you even ask my dad today for directions, you're going to say, okay, so you go down 2 stoplights, then you make a left by the store, and then you go 2 more streets down, and then you make a left, and you're going to see a red house. That's how my dad, to this day, will give you directions. And it's like, okay, Dad, okay, just give me the address. I have GPS, right? But you know, he's really part of that. And I come from that as well, where, you know, it's almost kind of like, how did we get directions before GPS and MapQuest, you know? Fat son, how you doing? Long time no see. And Pamela says, well, in the movie, even the satellite phone wasn't working. Yes, everything shut down because it was a cyber attack, right? And the satellites out of space, they were the ones that got attacked or whatever. And a novelist says, I definitely think something is going to happen with the grid. I don't know exactly what, but I'm going to be prepared just in case. Well, remember a couple of weeks ago, they were saying that in a couple of years or something like that, something's supposed to happen to the grid to where there will be no one will be able to get online or, you know, any of that stuff. I heard that. I don't know how true it is, but because of something's going on outer space or something, I don't know. So maybe they're preparing us. I don't know. Roz, how you doing? Says hi, Demetra. Oh, thank you so much. Says thanks for the heads up on the movie. I haven't seen it yet. Okay, so I'll, like I said, some of y'all want me to give some spoilers. I don't want to do that if you haven't seen it. Wilbur, how you doing? And Willie, what's going on with you? Says just move close to a military base. Are they gonna let everybody on? I doubt it. And Oracle, how you doing? Says it's a warning, like they warned us about the plan in 2020. Okay, I definitely think it's a warning, most definitely. Brother Samuel says Sir Isaac Newton, who they credited with being the father of calculus, which I won't credit him with, says, and was deeply religious and concluding a God being a man used those means to predict the world's end in 2060. The spiritual side of calculus is to calculate time. You know, and that's something I've never mastered, was calculus. I don't think I could ever do it, but I know you can. Thunder says, solar generator and a ham radio model, Bolfing UV5R. This radio can reach all over the US and beyond, and it's under $30. That's, hold on. Write this down. Most definitely, because I kind of got, you know, it spurred me to get a little bit more prepared. I'm not gonna lie. William says that little girl at the end had left everyone and was off in the bunker to herself. Yes, and that was the part where a lot of people said they didn't like the ending, and I get it. I think a lot of people just really didn't understand it, but I think I understand it really well. I got it crystal clear. Willie says, look at the new Civil War 2024 movie trailer. Okay, yeah, I heard there was a movie called Civil War coming out, so I will. Manrico says Rose was intuitive. In fact, she is the one who discovered the stash of DVDs at the end. I'm rethinking telling my mom to throw hers away, or you mean you're telling her to throw them away or not to throw them away? And Pamela says, yes, they're connected. And okay, so the movies. William says, I did not like bro offering to stay in the basement of his own house. He had no proof it's his house. Like, really? Said, did not like bro offering to stay in it. Oh, yeah. And that's kind of where I was with, with Julia. I agree with her. Like, who are you? And then he said, oh, I don't have any proof that I am me, right? Remember what happened? So he couldn't really prove that it was his house until, he kind of started moving around a little bit. But initially it's like, yeah, how I know. So Mike, nice. How you doing? GA, what's going on with you? Says, I don't think it's fiction. Yeah, I don't either. Well, of course, how you doing? Says DC is here. Shalom. Hey, Miss K. I love the movie. It reminds me of the Walking Dead series. Yeah, I've heard that correlation as well. Brother Don, how are you today? Manrico says, yes, Rose was intuitive with the animals, and she even found the DVDs at the end so she could watch her show. She and Mahershala's daughter, young people evolving into the future. Yeah, and they were way more in tune than everybody else, right? Easy says, D, is that the movie at the theaters or Amazon Prime? It's on. I saw it on Netflix. I think it was in the theaters in November, but I saw it on Netflix. So that's where it's at that I know of. William says, I thought the girl was weird and her favorite show was Friends. Did not like the bro putting his life at risk for the white stranger he had just met, especially against someone he has known. Yeah, I get that. I think they were all just as much in the dark. Well, they weren't really in the dark. Some of them were, because remember, Mahershala's character, he kind of knew more, although he really never just gave it a full explanation. It was kind of like a cliffhanger throughout the movie, but he knew more than everybody else did, and his daughter did too. Michael says, why is it that older people don't take younger people very seriously when it comes to not being prepared for climate change, a shortage of food, COVID-19, tornado, and other crises? Because usually older people, they think they know everything. I always call it the old dog. You know how you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Some people are just the old dog. They can't learn new tricks. They don't want to learn new tricks. I'm always right. We good. All that kind of stuff until they not good. Then they go knocking on Kevin Bacon's door. And Granola lady. I hope I said that right. How you doing? He says, did anyone pick up on the "we aren't friends" convo? Yes, between George and Kevin Bacon's character right before the barter. That was very telling. Yeah. What's the friendship gonna do at this venture? You know what I mean? Like, what you being my friend is gonna do what for me? Nothing. I don't need no friends right now. In fact, I need less friends, because if I have more friends, then y'all gonna expect for me to help you. Because we help friends, and right now ain't the time for no friendship. Mike Nice should say landmarks. And Pamela says, me too, Sister Demetria. I definitely was like, oh, heck no. The scene between those two, yeah, very, very bone chilling. Thunder says, all I have to say is thank you to them old folks, and I'm glad I listened and learned. Yes, indeed. Anais says, people need to learn to read maps. Yep. MC Fact, how you doing? Says, how about using a paper map? That's what I used back in the day. Yeah, we did too, right? People traveled all throughout the United States using maps. Nowadays, people, when's the last time somebody actually cracked open or even touched the map, right? When's the last time somebody did that? Brother Sam says, I remember my dad, a truck driver, training me how to read a map and calculate miles and get you to a place. Yeah, I remember that too. The Thomas Guide even. El Sanchez says, did you see, Demetria, where in the state of California today, we are going to start such a giving more rights to those who are not legal residents, allowing them to become police officers. Yeah, not just California, I heard in New York, in Chicago as well. So yeah, it's going to happen a lot in a lot of places. Tyrone, how you doing? Says, hello, Demetria. How are you? I hope all is well. I am great. And how about yourself? Manrico says, I believe in another 100 years, we're going to develop without a sense of direction. I think we already there. And Granola lady, he says, there was a report on NBC a few weeks ago that said China has the capability to take down satellites. So I don't know if that's what I was seeing in regards to the satellites, to where it said that we all could be off the grid, which we used to be, right? So I know the younger generation, they're gonna freak out. They can't get on TikTok. Lion Pride, how you doing? Says I downloaded the movie on my phone for later. Okay, yeah. If you haven't watched it, I think you'll like it. El Sanchez says being allowed to come unannounced to your house. Are you talking about the movie? And I am redeemed. It says that's why I won't buy an electric car. No, ma'am. They trace your every move. Yeah, they actually had a scene with a whole bunch of Teslas. Which was kind of freaky. And IE says, how many are you going to be ready for the next pandemic? I know that I will be. And it sounds like there's a variant that's pretty serious going on. I was listening to NPR in the car earlier, and that's what they're saying. I didn't even realize that there was another variant because I don't watch the news or anything like that. But I heard that they said it's uptick to like 200% in the last couple of weeks. So I don't know. Is that serious? Pamela says, what was the name of that radio? He says it was Boa Fang UV5R. That's what he said. Michael says other countries weathered the pandemic better than America did because we was concerned with you're infringing upon my rights, and all that other stuff. And Brother Samuel, you say we have been made to become dependent gradually in a technology that can later be used to control us as it dumbs us down in the way it's being done so much so that we will panic if we have to do those things on our own. Yeah, and most people will panic because they have no clue, Lion Pride, you say, yes, I'll say something about somebody Netflix. And El Sanchez says, can anyone let me know? Is this on Netflix only? Yes, it's on. I don't know if it's only on Netflix, but it is on Netflix. It says, what do you think about Donald Trump not being allowed on the Colorado ballot? I think that'll be temporary. I think the United States Supreme Court will overturn that. I mean, at this point, it's pretty obvious that they're trying every which way to make sure that Trump does not run in 2024, because if he's going up against Biden, he definitely will win. So now they're just, trying to do all that they can. It's stupid at this point, and it's like, what you're going to do is end up pissing people off, and they're going to vote for Trump even more. Because it's like, come on, that's just too much power. You know what I mean? And what exactly has Trump been found guilty of that would disqualify him? They keep trying to tie him to the insurrection, but technically he wasn't at the insurrection. So what are we talking about here? I know he had a lot of, he kind of inspired it, but he wasn't there. Rod says, yeah, says on Netflix. Yep. JC Israel, how you doing? Says Demetrius, sis, we think the same. I wonder also why they allowed the movie, and then I thought the same. It'll go over many heads. Says those are not focused, who are not focused, but they do put their plans in our face. Yeah, I totally believe that's why Michelle and Barack, that's their company, Higher Ground, they produced that movie, because most people will just see it as entertainment, like, oh, well, that was a good movie. What's coming on next? Ron Charles says, how do you feel about Mahershala, rich client that pretty much warned him? Yeah, I think per his rich client, Mahershala's character doesn't sound like he believed it either. Probably when the guy was telling him about it, he was like, oh, okay, sure. Like most people, most people who hear some news like that, they're like, okay, cool. There's something wrong with him. He a little off. You know what I mean? And then when you find out that he done got ghost, it's like, oh, well, he was telling the truth. So I think that's kind of what was going through Mahershala's mind, in regards to his client. And the complex, it says many whites are angry about the movie. Well, at least the one line where Mahershala's daughter, Mahershala's daughter said, you can't trust white people. Yeah, his daughter was spot on. She was spot on. Hold on one second. Deanna, can you call Grandpa back? He called me. Thank you. And Facts Not Feelings, how you doing? And Buck Hershey says Kevin Bacon went hard. Yeah, he was who everybody should be, right? Why you coming to knock on my door? What do you want me to do? Like he said. And I wrote it down. Haven't you been picking up what's been going on out there? Where you been? Oh, y'all just reading memes all day long, huh? Y'all scrolling up and down on TikTok and Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. Y'all up in the mud about what Cardi B and Offset and Blueface and Krishan and all these other insignificant people are doing, but then you weren't picking up what was going on out there. You were being entertained when you should have been being serious and getting your stuff together, you know. Uh okay, so complex backlash meant right wing. Got you. And Michael says, I was trying to watch the movie and I did not realize that was on Netflix. Yeah, it's on Netflix. Shaniqua says, real talk. And William says, old dogs who are wise will learn new tricks. We just are more particular about which tricks we learn. Yeah, sometimes, the old dogs need to say, okay, I'll try it, depending on what it is, right? But I'll try it. Some old dogs is like, no, I don't want to, you know. Mildred, how you doing? Long time no see. I hope you're doing well. Brother Jonell, you say Civil War got next. We all should be moving like Denzel Washington character in the Book of Eli. We are at war, and these movies are preludes to warning people of not what's to come, but in truth, what is. Yes, most sleep and very few peep. The Honorable Minister Farrakhan has warned us in truth. Yeah, absolutely. So at this point, it's like, hey, when it's not if, it's when. When it go down, that's gonna be on you. It's gonna be so many people. I mean, I guess it kind of goes in line with the rapture. Revelations, they talk about that in the Bible, how people are unprepared. So I guess maybe it's kind of the same thing, but it's gonna be so many people unprepared, knocking on people's door. Hey, can I get some water? Hey, we hurt ourselves. Can I get a Band-Aid? And they're gonna be like, they're gonna get told no. No. What did Kamala say? No. They're gonna be getting a lot of that, right? In fact, now Phyllis says, when the grid goes down, we are in big trouble. Some of us can't find our way to the supermarket without a GPS on our phone. Yeah. And the other thing is this: how many of us that ride passenger in the car, are we actually looking out the window, taking in the sights, or are we scrolling on our phone? Are we paying attention? Are we, keeping track of what's going on, what's new in the neighborhood, or what's gone from the neighborhood, or, any of that? Or are we too busy with our head down, looking at our phone? I'm guilty of that. I try my best now to be a little bit more cognizant so I can learn the area a little bit more. But yeah, I was guilty of that. And then one day I look up and say, oh, when did they build that? Oh, I didn't know. So yeah, we got to pay attention. Ross says, I grew up with maps, but GPS had made me lazy. Yep. And I think that's true for all of us. Novel says it right. The one thing that I really had a problem with was this black man was willing to risk his life and leave his daughter without a father to save another man's child. Yeah, he negated the first law of nature, which was self-preservation, right? And then when they got to Kevin's house, he kind of reminded them of that. Hey, first law of nature, self-preservation. And Thunder says, I just checked and they have the radios on sale 2 for $53. Okay. And where'd you check on Amazon? The average logical thing. Okay, so you're talking to Buck Horse. And he says, my uncle taught me how to read. So to read maps. And old Salty Man says, a lot of people depend on phones and technology too. Oh yeah, cannot even don't have a clue without it, El Sanchez says, I heard the movie gives more in depth than the actual. Demetra, please let us know what you're talking about. Number 45 in many states, they don't want him on the ballot. Nothing being done by Democrats. You still have to go through a process. You can't just be willy-nilly about it. They've never done that before. You know what I mean? And whose fault is it that Trump is beating Biden? It's the Democrats' fault because they won't replace Biden with somebody else. They're keeping him on the ballot. So that's not Trump's fault that he's leading. Nobody wants Biden. Most people do not want Biden as a president. They don't want him to run anymore, but they're not listening. So Trump is going to run circles around him. And so instead of just taking Biden off the ballot, it's cheating at this point. Well, we're going to, get together in the courts. We're going to take him off the ballot. I'm sure that'll get overturned because guess what? When Trump was in the White House, he stacked the Supreme Court in his favor. So, he kind of knew what he was doing in the long run. And Maji, I hope I said that right. How you doing, Maji? He says police officers are not enforcement as we think they are security guards working for the corporation. Yeah, I mean, I get that too. But, when they pull us over, they police officers. You know what I mean? Until further notice. Complex Black says then Tesla's recalled 2 million cars a few days ago after the movie dropped. Yeah, I saw that. William says most first world countries have ability to take out satellites, microwave, and ultrasound attacks and hacking. Isn't that freaky? Most of us, we work via the internet. What happens when all that shuts down? Are we good with our hands or, So my dad says, as long as you have hands, you should never starve. You should always be able to take care of yourself. Be industrious, learn how to do something, right? My uncle taught me to read maps. Yes, indeed. And Fast Not Feeling says China, U.S., Russia has the capability to take down satellites with missiles. Russia has the capability to destroy the power grid of U.S., and it will take years to get the power back on. I heard that. Yes, I did. And let's see here. Your average logical thinker says, Demetra, I'm hearing. Okay. And Michael says, for the next pandemic, the federal government needs to issue UBI to all Americans plus cash payment reparations for ADOS. I like that. I like UBI, Universal Basic Income. Yeah, they should. I guess they thought they were kind of doing that with the stimulus checks, but yeah, UBI is something you get monthly. Manrico says, Mahershala's character told a story about the client that seemed to escape what was about to happen. I didn't quite understand that part. I think that was more or less that his client was telling him, because his client was pretty powerful for what he was saying, like he was up there somewhere. And the client was telling him, basically, I'm paraphrasing, when it go down, I ain't going to be here. But I think Mahershala's character was just like, sure it's going to, okay. And I think it kind of illustrates that most of us are Mahershala. When we hear, okay, let's take, for example, the Nation of Islam has been talking about the mothership for a very long time, right? The mother plane. And not too long ago, over the last year or so, the United States government, they admitted to a science. What the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was talking about in Fall of America in regards to the mother planes, to a science. They admitted that there is a mother plane in the space per se, and it sends down orbs to Earth every once in a while to get stuff. And per what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was saying in Fall of America, to the letter, the United States government admitted that, and that book was written, I think, in 1963. So when people talk about the mothership, a lot of people laugh, ha 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 ha, Scotty beam me up, them Muslims are tripping and all that other stuff. And the United States government is like, no, they was telling the truth. Okay. So we better start listening. Dick Gregory was another one. A lot of people thought, okay, now this old man is tripping. But a lot of stuff that he was saying, we seeing it. So I think that's what that was symbolic of Mahershala and his client. Your astrological thing says, I'm hearing more talks. Okay, so your comment cut off. More talks about Biden impeachment. I think you were on to something with Kamala mentioning Biden for their efforts together. Yeah, that's why, because if something happens to Biden, they want Kamala to step right up and say, all right, I'm here. I'm ready on day one. Willie says, better get a few acres of land in those woods. Facts Not Failing. So you're talking to Michael. And let's see here. Lion says Trump can be written in the Colorado ballot. So there's ways around it. At this point, it's just theater, but they're going to mess around and mess themselves up over there in Colorado. And, whoever's on board with that, they might end up getting voted out. There's a lot of things going on, but are we taking him? We ain't going to put him on the ballot. Is like, huh? It's 10 electorate points from what I understand, but could it be significant? Yeah, depending on how close the election is, but, it's 10 points. Or what is it? Electoral votes. And let's see here. DJ Quick. I'm gonna just leave it at that. But how you doing? He says you are on track. He was human. Uh, he was human trafficking victim. And I'm sorry, who was that? I'm sorry. And how you doing, by the way? And Miss B, how you doing? Monica, what's going on with you? Says hi, Demetra. In Canada, the environment minister announced that they are going to make gas cars illegal by 2035, if not sooner, which is ridiculous. Yeah, same thing in California. I think it's 2032, if I'm not mistaken. They're not supposed to be making any more cars that's not electric past then, which is, 9 years, almost 8 years from now. So, Joe Jude Machad, how you doing? And Thunder says, DK, I have a great news about the radio. You can hear and talk to people in California right from Houston easily with no problem. Okay, I'm gonna get me one. I really am. Your average logical thinker says, I'll say talking to somebody else. In facts, not feelings. He says, disqualifying Trump for the election is disturbing trend and paints a bad picture of what's to come in America. I totally agree with you. It's very telling. They just do what they want. You don't have a say so. It robbed you of a say so. But they run around talking about democracy all the time, don't they? Democracy's in danger. We got to protect democracy. Democracy is everybody have a say so. I wonder how many, if all the people in Colorado had a say so as to whether they wanted Trump to be removed off the ballot. I bet you they didn't. So there you have it. NIE says they are just hating on Trump. Yeah, it's because they know he'll win. But instead they should just take buying off, but they won't do that. William says, note Kevin Bacon's statement. U.S. has pissed off a lot people off. Maybe they teamed up against us. Yeah, because he was naming who it might be. And then he goes, I don't know. Maybe it was them. We've pissed off a lot of people. Which is true, right? Because it seemed like it was just happening to the United States at that moment. So, Easy says, D, the next pandemic may be chemical attack from either war or retaliation, in my opinion. Ooh, I haven't heard that one, but I hope not. I hope not. And Sergeant Lauder, how you doing? You say some of us been saying it for a while now. Yep. And then the people you've been saying it to probably like, oh, you tripping. Oh, you crazy. Ain't nothing gonna happen. You say, do you know people will lose their minds if it would be chaos all over? Even medical supplies were relied on the computer and internet. That's going to be something I'm waiting to see pandemic soon. Yeah, they say that this new variant is pretty much on the rise. And Sergeant Lauder, you say, gotta read past the first page. Yeah, yep. And that's pretty much what Kevin Bacon was saying. Like, y'all not paying attention? Okay. You want me to do what? Because he's been paying attention, right? Because remember, at the beginning of the movie, Julia Roberts' character saw him. She saw him and, they looked at each other and she didn't pay it any mind. But then it came back to her remembrance as to why she saw him doing what he was doing. It made sense then. Complex, you say, I would have helped to a certain extent if I was Kevin Bacon's character. Yeah, I think that's the initial reaction. But then the other question is, how many more times do I have to help you? Because you were in La La Land. You thought this was all fun and games. I'm sitting up here, as the animals do. What is it? The squirrels, they storing nuts for the winter. I'm here getting prepared. Are you playing? So how many more times do I have to help you? Stephanie, how you doing? He says, true. And Miss B says, hi, Demetra. In chat, there were some people said they didn't like it or get it. I said it wasn't meant to be entertainment. And they missed the big picture. I totally agree with you. If you looked at it as an entertainment thing, then you need to look again. Watch it from a different set of eyes this time. In Buckhorse, she says, yep, stay focused, y'all. And Pamela says, what I didn't like to Julia being Julia and yelling at Mahershala's daughter in the movie all up in the girl's face. Yeah, I think too, in that particular scene, Julia didn't know what her and her dad had been discussing in regards to her mother. In addition, Julia's daughter was like, okay, where is she? So there was a lot going on in that scene. And then when Mahershala's daughter had a conversation with her about what was going on, then I think, Julia felt bad, like, oh my God, I've been a witch, so Nathan, how you doing? Says Tariq discussed this on his live stream that there is a lot of slave references, such as the ship White Lion, which was the name of a ship that landed in Virginia. Also on the radio had 1619. So yeah, there was a lot of jewels that you really have to, really watch again to pick up all those things. But that movie definitely was telling us something. But again, I was like, well, why would Barack and Michelle make that movie? But again, because they know most people are going to view it from an entertainment point of view, they're not going to. Because see, I like to watch movies for entertainment, but I like to try to take something from them as well. Like, all right, what are they trying to tell us? One of my favorite movies also is The Spook Who Sat by the Door. That ending was unwritten as well. It didn't end per se. In that particular movie, I believe Greenlee was the name of, oh gosh, the author of the book escapes my mind. Greenlee, I know his last name. Stanley Greenlee, is that what it was? I think he left the ending unwritten because he was like, it's up to y'all. It's up to y'all, Black people, to write the ending and write the correct ending. It's up to y'all how this particular movie, the premise of this movie ends. And we still writing the ending of that movie today. I think that movie came out, 1973 or something like that. And we still writing the ending of the movie, The Spook Who Sat by the Door. Thunder says The Shelter, The Twilight Zone, season 3, episode 3. Please watch. Got you. I definitely will. William says sat phones are a bit higher. So satellite phones are a bit higher, but there are other options. Okay. And leather and luxury cars. Where have you been? How you doing? Says I'm not getting in nobody's car without looking at each and every piece of my surroundings. I got you. Manrico says I thought juxtaposing Kevin Bacon and Ethan Hawke was intentional. Oh, absolutely. That's why I said that was one of my favorite parts of the movie. That right there, I think that was really eye-opening. That part right there, like I said, the juxtaposition of them, the characters, the dynamics of. Oh yeah, absolutely. He says they look alike but are so different. So shows some people are in tune and some are definitely not. Yeah. And Kevin Bacon's character was admonishing everybody like, y'all got some audacity showing up here in my house, asking me for my goods, Willie says if they have learned anything from COVID, I don't think I don't know what to tell them if they haven't learned anything. I'm thinking, man, I bet people still don't have enough bathroom tissues to last a month. Well, I was just in Sam's Club and I got all of that. I was there yesterday. Sergeant Lauder says, in the age of information, ignorance is not an excuse. I won't feel sorry for anyone that chose ignorance. I agree with you. Like, damn, like Kevin Bacon's character says, y'all ain't been picking up what's been going on out there. Y'all been asleep. Now y'all awake, huh? Dark Mankind, how you doing? Says the father was trying too hard to not appear as a threat. That was his house. Yeah, I could see that as well. Because you got to remember too, it was his house, but it was Airbnb, so they paid a lot of money. When they said like it was $1,000 or something like that for however long they rented it, because he tried to. He did pay them, so it was an Airbnb. So it wasn't like they commandeered their house. They rented the house. They being Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke, they rented the house, and then Mahershala and his daughter kind of needed somewhere to stay. So that's kind of what it was. But yeah, I get that. Buckhorn says the Tesla cars is what got me. Yeah. Okay. Can you imagine driving a Tesla and seeing that movie? Is like, yikes. Brother Salmon says Hurricane Katrina and the New Orleans levee bombing. And I like how you phrase that. He says, and ensuing flooding showed how we are ill prepared to survive. People were turning on their own siblings in the line for ice. Damn. In Mississippi, killing each other due to the stress of the panic. Yeah, and I like how you said the levees. Spike Lee has a great movie, When the Levees Broke, as a documentary. And everybody who was near it and heard things, they said we heard like explosions go off right before the levees broke. So a lot of people are under the impression that it was intentional. So you're absolutely right. Quicks, how you doing? Says they really need to replace Biden. Biden needs to retire soon. Yeah, but they won't do that. Dark Mankind says the ship got me. Yeah, that was a trip, huh? Rose is like, it's getting closer. it's getting closer, and everybody just kept doing what they were doing. you know, Sergeant Slaughter, you say, we don't want either vote, no confidence, no, none of the above. Yeah, there you go. But they want to force you to vote for one or the other. And Melanin 100 percent, how you doing? It says, didn't you notice that the white family was all about saving themselves? They right, they packed up and left the black family, and when the white family couldn't leave the city, they came back. Okay, they was like, hey, we out. But like you said, very telling. Y'all do what y'all got to do, right? And but y'all remember what Mahershala's daughter said. We can't trust them. And they tucked tail and ran, but like you said, when they couldn't leave, they were like, we're back. You also say the black family should have said, hit the road, right? Because now they are in possession of their house, which is very telling, right? Like, what's going on? But isn't that kind of how we are as a people? Aren't we that way? Oh, come on in. Welcome, welcome. But had it been the other way around, would the white family have been as welcoming? Probably not. They kind of had to let them in, right? Because it was their house. But what if it wasn't? So I think that was very telling. Sergeant Slaughter, you say blackout happened in New York last week. Really? Isn't New York going through some flooding or something right now too? And Darkman Kanye says, can we read? Can we read? I hope. And maybe you talk to somebody else. And Michael says, even if Democrats do decide to replace Biden with another Democrat, he or she will still lose to Trump. Yeah, they better be damn good, because people just want relief right now. That's what that is. People just want relief. Buck Hershey says, I'm very good with my hands. Yeah, you got to be. Easy says, D, a versatile stash of weapons and ammo is essential in every survival situation. Yeah, because, praying them away in the name of Jesus, go away. That probably ain't going to work. As my dad says, prayer ain't worth a damn at a bear meeting. When the bear's going to, be on your behind, you ain't going to say, hold on, bear. In the name of God, please stop. You want to pick up some and get rid of them, Old salty man. You say we're kind of at cold civil war, passive aggression in chaos. Okay. Thunder says, question, is it too far-fetched to think that the next election that there will be trouble, unrest? If so, why not stock up and be ready the best you can? Yeah, I agree, because we saw what happened last time. I mean, what if, what if? Your average logical thinker says, I don't allow my son to use devices in the car unless we are on a road trip. He knows how to get around, and when we are on the road too long or made different turns, etc. Yeah, I got to pay attention. Dark Mankind says Black Rock. And Michael, you say with UBI, Americans can use it to start business, go back to school, or start a family. Absolutely. L, you say, can you tell us about what you think about your beloved? He's not my beloved. 45 denied in the state of Colorado. I think I just talked about that. Hold on one second. Deanna, can you come get my phone? Did you call Grandpa? Okay, come get my phone, because somebody else is calling now. Sorry about that. So yeah, Trump is not my beloved. Hold on one second. Kenneth?
Yeah, hi D. Hi D. How are you?
I'm well. I'm actually in the middle of doing a live show. Can I hand the phone off to my daughter, and she can help you? And if it's an extreme emergency, I can take care of it.
Okay.
Okay, hold on one second. Deanna?
Well, yeah, I'm out of here at 4:30.
No. Here, my daughter can handle it. There she is.
Hello?
Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, Trump's not my beloved. We've had this conversation a million times. Moni. Complex Blackness says, if anyone is interested about a grid down situation and its reality, read or listen to the book 1 second after and its sequel. Okay. And I'm going to skip down just a little bit so I can catch up. I see I'm behind. And Brother Jonelle says his client more than likely had a spot reserved underneath the earth where the government done built bunkers that will likely cave in on them. A lot of things are in place for the rich elite survival that the masses, civilians, aka taxpayers who fund it, are unaware of. Absolutely. And I think that's exactly what happened to his client. His client was like, I'm going to be all right. Okay. Wherever I'm going, I'm going to be safe, but unfortunately, Mahershala's character didn't heed the warning. Brother Samuel says, as a preteen, my father used to say, as we work the garden, son, I'm teaching you how to grow your own, because one day you won't be able to go into the grocery store. And if you know how to grow your own, you can always feed your family. Yep, my dad says the same thing. My dad is really good. He learned arboriculture, if you will, when he was in junior high, and he gardens and grows all kind of stuff to this day. So yeah, got to learn how to do that. And DJ Quickie says Donald Trump. And then Dark Mankind says Trump did not win that state. Colorado, just capping. Yeah, there you go. you know. And Curly Girl, how you doing? Grand evening to you as well. GP says, before I go, I'll say this, Dimitri. Oh, I am. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you for that. By now, I'm sure you're on your date. I'm kind of behind in the comments. Beach Material, how you doing? It says, hello, starting from the beginning of the stream. Okay. And student, how you doing? It says, I hope you're doing well. I'm from Sweden. All right. Thank you for joining us. And Brother Samuel says, just listening of what's been said today and thinking of the scene where it seems like the white wife and the brother were getting close, reminded her that he loved his wife. Yes. Remember that last trick is to offer us his woman. Her husband was out their house at the pool with the man's daughter getting called out by her. Yeah, that was kind of weird, huh? But absolutely. Okay, so let me just get down. And Spencer, how you doing? JC says, family, if the grid goes down, there won't be no stores, and you don't want to be dependent on government. Yep. Can you imagine? And Bobby, if I didn't already, how you doing? Well, thank you so much. OG Patrice, how are you? You say checking in from Vegas. All right. It's cold out there now, huh? Brother Samuel, you say, oh, let me get this. And Monica says, I'm noticing every time I watch Black content creators who are talking about this movie, my YouTube mysteriously has their feed freezing intermittently. Interesting. I say, are they concerned? Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting. Brother Samuel says, I'm also thinking about Dr. Umar Johnson's statement that before a movie is released, the CIA has to approve the ideas being put among the people, I think, to control the minds of the masses. But again, if that's true, they just knew most people wouldn't pay attention to it. They just think it was entertainment at best. Student says good, really freaking cold though. Haha. Okay. Lawrence, how you doing? You say facts. And William says, let's talk reality here. The American empire is falling. Look around, listen at the politicians, all rubes. He says, dumbing down the citizenry, division, and high racial tension. Yeah, there is a lot going on. I give you that. Lawrence said, you also need to learn longitude and latitude. Yeah. You talk about a refresher course there. Pamela says, yeah, that was crazy with the Teslas. Mm-hmm. Michael says, Dimitri, which candidates should the Democrats replace Biden with? Do you think that it's too late for Democrats to replace Biden with several candidates? No, I don't think it's too late. I mean, I don't have a name that I can offer because I'm not really that vested because I don't think they're interested in putting anybody else up. But I don't want to say anybody but Biden, but I haven't really thought that far. I know there's a lot of people who are challenging him, but no one that seriously is going to win. I know Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks, he's running. Now, I don't know how serious his candidacy is, but I know that he is running. Student, it says, thank you. A lot of countries critique our COVID method, but it turned out pretty well. Yeah, you all did very well outside of the United States. Pamela says, now, Sister Dimitri, you know they ain't that nice or have no concern for us unless it's something in it for them. Absolutely. And Miss Chizzy, AZ, how you doing? And Brother Jonell says, self-preservation is the first law of nature. Black people are programmed to preserve others to the detriment of themselves. Yeah, and that's what happened. That's exactly what happened with Mahershala and his daughter. Or, in a couple of cases there. All right. And Novel says, that's one of our main problems now. We want to be friends with everyone, but no one wants to be friends to Black people. Yep. And I think that's what that part of the movie was really saying. Easy says, the animals will also tell you when something is wrong. Like, yep, like the deer had a confusing look on their faces was a clue. Yep. This They say in the nation as well, study nature. You know, they're give you a good indication of what's going on. Because they say a lot of times, like when an earthquake or something is gonna jump off, or whatever, the animals they pretty much know first, right? They get to run in and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna be running right behind them. Quick, you say, sad part is I didn't feel I could breathe under Trump. I'm black, but I didn't vote for Biden either. Paying Trump and Biden, I'm sorry, praying Trump and Biden decide they're too old, but all candidates are probably puppets. Oh yeah, all of them, young, old, you name it, and they're probably not gonna tap out. Let's see here. Your average logical thing. Okay, so you're talking to Monica. Oh, I got to the bottom. Also, Black America says 70 degrees there in Vegas. Let's see, it is 64 here, which is all right. Thunder says stock up on food. Bengay, Geritol, stool softener, Metamucil, KY, and anti-diarrhea medicine. Yeah, because you might be eating a whole lot of stuff, right? That could cause you to have diarrhea, and all of that. Yeah, all those things you need. Stock up because you just never know. Um, I mean, think about it now. There's people who borrow stuff from people all the time. Maybe not because it's a dire straits like something like in a movie, but they are asking you for stuff that they should have. Take, for example, when somebody dies, a family member or something, and they don't have a life insurance policy, they asking everybody else to help them pay for it via GoFundMe or car wash or anything like that. That's a great example of not being prepared. Not being prepared to take care of your loved one's final expenses. Or, you die and your loved ones are having to do a fish fry or whatever. So absolutely. And quick sake, Chink wasn't born a citizen, can't be president, but Obama came out of nowhere. He must have been because he's running. So I don't know if he was or he was not, but I would think that he'd have to be if he's running and he's got a candidacy for president. It just wouldn't make any sense for him to be trying to run and he can't be president because you're right, you have to be a citizen. So something tells me he probably is. I don't know. Thunder says, also spices, you will get tired of eating bland food. You ain't lying. That's one thing I do have is a lot of spices because I'm not going to be eating no bland beans and rice. I want to, maybe one day make them sweet, make them savory or whatever. But I'm with you on that one. Buckhorse says, I thought the deer was hungry, time to eat. No, they were warning. They knew what was up. But yeah, at one point in time, they was acting crazy, right? Curly Girl says, yes, you can sense danger from an animal. My cat action and let me know a rattle was at my back door. Oh Lord. Yeah, I know cats are good, with detecting snakes and neutralizing them. Rod says presidents are not elected, they are selected. That absolutely. And student says this live stream is very enjoyable. Well, thank you. Thank you. William says, get this book, Map Reading and Land. I think it's a navigation, FM 3-25.26. Teaches how to do things the old fashioned way. Okay. I definitely am going to take note of that. And Michael says, Demetri, what kind of financial investments do you recommend to your brothers and sisters when the next pandemic comes around the corner? I recommend you save. I recommend you save your money because I know a lot of people, especially in the pandemic, they made money because the stock market was doing this, that, and the other. But a lot of those people lost a lot of money too, whether it was cryptocurrency or whatever it is. I recommend you save. Cash is king. At the end of the day, cash is king because you got to remember too. Yeah, you might have credit cards, but credit companies could decide we were calling the credit cards. We shutting you down because that's what happened in 2008. A lot of people had these big giant lines of credit. Then one day, they found out that the credit wasn't what it used to be. And they're like, well, what? I've been paying everything on time, whatever. And a lot of those credit card companies, they're like, yeah, we're going to shrink your credit limit because we don't know. You might be going through hard times or whatever, and you charge it up and then we don't get our money back. So a lot of people, I mean, that happened to me. I had some of my credit cards, the balances or I guess not the balances, but the limit, they shrunk. And I didn't do anything necessarily, but a lot of the credit card companies was like, y'all ain't gonna be running up no tab on us and not pay it. So cash is king. All right, and let's see. And Thunder says, did you know that Vaseline has a lot of use of skincare, wound care, and fire starter? and so on and so on. Absolutely, petroleum, right? It does have a lot of uses. I only really know it for Vaseline is skin moisture, moisturizer, and stuff like that. But yeah, it's good to know. David, how are you today? And Rodney, what's going on with you? You say they also say get water purifier, solar generator, pepper say, or is it pepper spray? Yeah, a generator is something to have as well. I don't own my house. I'm renting, but I guess I could probably get a generator and take it with me because Lord knows that the electricity on any given day will go out. Like if it's too windy, if it rains too much, or thunderstorm, it's like, oh my God, really? California, we don't have those problems. It can rain and unless somebody runs into the pole or something, but we never had problems with the electricity going out just because the wind blew. But absolutely, David, how you doing? You say the movie is basically the 90s. Y'all can't live without technology. I got some vibranium. Okay. William say I recommend learn edible plants, eat things you are not comfortable with, learn water purification. Not everyone is stocked up or may be on the move. It gets bad. Yeah. And getting some of those straws too that you can drink water that may not be good, but it'll filter the bad stuff out. So stuff like that. Also, water purifier. They do have pills that you can, drop into the water, whatever the case is. But yeah, there's all sorts of ways to be prepared. Because, like you said, you might be on a run. And you might have to drop your straw into a stream of water. But thank God it has a filter on it that'll filter out all of the bad stuff or most of it anyway. Uh, Ronnie says, but silver, buy silver. Most of us can't afford gold coins. Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good idea as well. Um, but yeah, I would say, save. Oh, well, look what the cat drug in.
Ain't no cats. Jeez.
That is Walter.
Yes,
Um,
I
you,
was
you
watching it from my car. Good show.
yeah, you came right on time, I would say. Of course, I know that you saw the movie. We had a discussion about it.
A bunch of times, like 3 times.
I was trying not to give spoilers. Some people say go ahead, but I'm trying. Yes, Dave, Jr., how you doing? Life straw. That's what it is. Get some life straws. You might have to, like I said, dip your water. God forbid, in the toilet water, right? I'd just be like, let me just go on and shrivel up right now. you know.
Right.
Michael says, Demetri, I understand about saving money. What do you recommend in terms of investing in bonds, dividends, and etc.? So, Walter, the question is, in case something like the pandemic happens again, what do you recommend? I talked about how a lot of people, investing in cryptocurrency, and a lot of people kind of bit the farm on that, or bought the farm rather on that one.
Yeah, cryptocurrency during a pandemic or collapse is not going to be anything because we don't have electricity. You don't have any money. The best way, the best thing to invest in is in you and your surroundings, making sure you have food. A bunch of it. We have talked about food on a regular um, basis, having food. I ain't gonna give y'all my address, but I have 6 months worth of food, water. Every time I go to the store, I buy a case of water. At least I try to tuna. My daughter steals it most of the time, but I try and keep tuna. I hate tuna, but in a can, if it's between me and eat my neighbor, I'd probably eat the tuna. So, you can buy foods that will, a can of tuna will last for 20 years in a can. And so will a McDonald's chicken nugget. You can leave that on the counter.
You ain't
So
lying.
the best thing, I mean, I don't know how you feed your kids that, but that's a different story. So the best thing to invest in is yourself. Keep pretend money, like in the movie. I like it because money, like the scene where he's sitting on the porch and Marshall Ali tries to give him money, and he's like, "That ain't money, ain't no good right now. Like, what's money gonna
Friendship
do?" And this
either.
is
Yeah, we
so
talk about,
what?
and friendship is no good either. I don't need no more friends.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's over. So the best thing to do is to stack your food for months, especially if you have a garage or, I mean, it don't matter. If you have outside, you could stack canned goods outside. They'll sit in the rain for decades. And if it came down to it, you could eat that food. Here's another thing too. You could literally go a month, 2 months without eating. So that's the other thing we need to look at too. We don't need to. I think in this country, I think we eat too much. I mean, you could look around and see we eat too much. You know what I'm saying? I stand next to some of these people, we'd be in number 10. So some of y'all could afford to cut back on food anyways. But here's what I'm saying. I went 21 days without eating, and it gave me so much power. And I thought I would be good at hunger striking. Now they would think I was hungry, but I know for a fact you can go 30, 40, 50, 60 days. For every pound you have to lose, you can go 2 days without food. So this whole panic about, well, if this, we had something happen for a couple weeks. If you had to go 2 weeks without eating, not only would you be in better health, your body would start healing. You could do it. And there's some people, when they do fast, they don't even drink water. You can go days and days and days without drinking water because your body is solely made up of water. Now, you're going to be skinny as Jack the Pumpkin King, but you could do it. So, and I would practice. I would even say you could practice right now. Like I eat once a day, unless I'm going to be I'm around humans, and maybe sometimes I'll eat twice. But like those of you who are eating 3 times a day and snacking, you are killing yourself. You don't need a pandemic. You're already doing it to yourself. So that's what I would say, man. If you don't have enough food for 6 months, canned goods, if you don't have water put away, you don't have, my next thing is getting a generator. In Texas, all my neighbors had a generator. So y'all had that freeze, you know what I'm talking about. So, generator is next on my list. Stuff hits the fan, you have power and electricity. I own a candle company, so I have 1,000 candles in my house, so we ain't gonna have an issue with light. But I would, the generator for sure. It's a major purchase, but you can get one on Amazon or Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp. I start looking at that. Once you have that stuff, then I would start investing. And that changed watching that movie. I mean, I was already there, but watching that movie made me change 100%.
You and me both.
I was like, when he was sitting on the porch and he was trying to give him $1,000 for like 5 pills, and he was like, "Oh, I don't know." I just thought, man, there's some really rich cats and some people that are doing well financially that aren't even prepared versus the guy that can dig a ditch and grow some food. That cat is going to be better served. And I'm not killing the rich. This is not that. But it would be better. You'd be better served.
Oh, yeah.
Having that stuff. And then I would take it the next step further is get you a piece of land. If you notice in that movie, he had a weapon on his property. And I've seen a lot of movies, they have a shotgun. And I don't know what it is about the shotgun standing on their property. So you can, if you own a piece of land, you have the right to defend it. So get you a piece of land, even if it's a piece of land in a bayou somewhere next to an alligator. You know what I'm saying? At least you own something, so you have a place to stand and put your little RV, or you can park your car, and that'll be your house for the time being. And Pamela, trust me, I know this for a fact. You're not going to die of starvation if you don't drink water for a day or 2 days. Because I went days without drinking water, and I went almost a month without food whatsoever. I'm telling you, you could do it. Your body's mainly water. So you can do without water, you can do without food. Just try it tonight or tomorrow. Just, have what I would say is eat your meal, have an early meal, eat it like 2:00, and then go disappear. And then go that night without eating, and then get up early, get to work, and just drink water, and then try and go to bed early. Just try that. If you can go 2 days without eating, you could go for a month, because in day 3, you lose all hunger whatsoever. So you can I'm speaking from experience. No, I don't cook with candles. You could, I guess. I mean, you could put a
you
pan.
have to. You could, yeah.
I didn't think about cooking with candles. I mean, the foods that I have in my garage are stuff that you don't need to cook. So you could, Even noodles, which I would only eat noodles if it was a pandemic, if there was nothing else. It's the only reason you see me eating noodles, or if I was high or intoxicated and ended up at a Thai restaurant, you wouldn't see me eating noodles. Give that to your enemy. So
Absolutely.
that's what I want first.
Yeah. So Walter, you said you didn't like the ending of the movie.
I hated it.
Why
Only
did you hate the ending?
because I like to finish.
You don't think the ending was finished?
I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to say, at the end of the day, all we really care about is media and fantasy stuff. Like the girl heard her mama calling her outside and went down in the bunker and turned on Friends. I get it.
Yeah,
You know,
because Walter and I actually had a conversation. I watched it and I called him. I said, "Did you see this movie?" He said, "Yeah, I watched it." And he told me he hated it, the ending. He not the movie, he hated the ending. So we had a conversation about it, and that's what I took from it as well. Not, and I don't want to give any spoilers, but we all just kind of, once the emergency is over or the whatever is going on is over, we just go back to normal. I'm pacified now. I'm back to in my comfort zone, right? What do they say about the comfort zone? That's where a lot of nothingness goes on. We just, when we're entertained, everything else is going on around us, but as long as we're entertained, I don't care. I don't care that the world is going bonkers, because you think about the end of that movie, and I'm trying not to give it away. As the little girl Rose, she found the bunker. What was going on outside? Chaos was going on outside, but she was oblivious to it. Because like you said, she did. Mom was calling her. Everything was going, like, really starting to turn up. And she was like, "Hey, as long as I'm got this TV, I'm good."
Yeah, it was actually quite. The movie was actually quite.
But
It was.
she signifies a lot of people, though. That moment right there is what most people do. Then once I'm entertained, I check out. Right? I'm checked out for everything else. I don't care, as long as the TV's on. I'm on my phone. I won't get down to business. One of my favorite songs is "Yams," right, by Masego and Devin. And one of the lines in there, Masego says, "I promised myself I wouldn't start my day online." Right? Because the premise of the song is I'm getting to the yams, right? The yams is the money. I'm getting after it. I'm doing whatever I got to do. So we know most of the time when we start our day online, right? How does we start our day online? Most of us sleep with our phone. I ain't gonna lie to kick it. My phone is in the bed with me, And first thing you do is when you wake up, you're reaching for your phone, right? Like, damn, where my phone? You tear the whole blanket up to look for your phone. Then you're like, okay, well, let me see what's going on. And then hours later, you wasted all that time because you're scrolling online, So I love that part of the song because it reminds me, don't start your day online. You start your day online because they say how you start the day is also how you'll finish the day. That dictates the rest of your day. How you start.
It depends on what you do too. Like me, I start my day online because my business is online, so it's a different story.
Different. I'm saying, I guess, in regards to like social media. That's what I mean. The social media. You doing that?
And I like to start my day rolling over with the baby oil personally. I gotta mute you for 1 sec.
You should have muted us before you said that. I am. How you doing? He says we all should fast once a week. Other day I fasted, okay, and it wasn't because I wanted to, okay. That's why I wasn't here on Sunday. I was fasting because I had to go for it. I guess not annual, but every so often you have to do a colonoscopy, however you say it. So that's why I couldn't be here on Sunday. It just, I had to keep getting up, for lack of better words. So I had to fast that day. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad because my thing is if I'm busy and I'm moving around, I'm doing stuff, I'm not thinking about eating. That's why I really don't like to watch TV much. Because when you sit down watching TV, you're like, in most people's living room and TV is next to the kitchen or close to it, right? You're like, let me go and get me something out of the kitchen while I'm watching this. Okay, the next movie gonna come on, whatever. Let me go get something to eat. Because I stopped snacking altogether because I don't eat sugar as much. And you'll be surprised when you cut sugar out, just how much you really can't eat, you know? So I don't snack as much. But yeah, when I fasted on Sunday, it really wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad at all.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you could do it. Just start fasting. Start fasting, and if we stop eating all the damn time, the food supply would last longer, and you give your body a break. So I think we could go. I think we could go without eating. Personally, in my opinion, I think it could do the world some good. If everybody just went to eating once a day, there'd be less shit in the toilet, less shit in the dump. It'd be less stuff in you. I mean, like, think about your body working 24 hours a day. Eat, squat, sit down, eat. Like, come on.
Yeah,
Guys,
that's
we are killing them.
how to eat to live. So they talk about eat once a day, and it says and when you really get gangster, you're only supposed to be eating every 3 days. Every 72 hours is when you're supposed to eat. That's how good you're supposed to get. Because Honorable Elijah Muhammad says that we are overworking our stomach. Like you said, morning, you're sitting something down there, you're gonna have a snack, you're sitting something down there, so your stomach is having to work, and then lunchtime, your stomach is having to work through that. Then another snack, and then dinner, and then you're gonna have something to eat as you're watching TV and going to bed. So your stomach is all working all day, and actually, your stomach is your second brain, right? So you're having your stomach work all day, and it's the epicenter kind of really of your body, right? I know they tell us the heart, yeah, we need that to pump blood and stuff. But when you send stuff to your stomach, and I'm sorry if I'm freezing up a little bit, but you send stuff to your stomach, then it's got to filter out everything, right? So it's constantly working, which is why a lot of people stay and get sick. And Pamela, I'm like you, I have hypothyroidism as well. So I have to drink water because not drinking water will mess up your kidneys. But the funny thing is, not so funny, but I've had hypothyroidism ever since I was 34 years old. And I was always told that it will never get better. But when I went to my doctor last couple of times, I do blood work because you have to. We have hypothyroidism every 3 months or so. He says, "Oh, I'm gonna have to lower your dosage. It's not that bad." And I'm like, "Really?" So, whatever I'm doing, it is improving. So that's good because, like I said, I've been on medication since I was 34. So yeah, I don't advocate people not drink water.
I'm talking about in an emergency. Drink water when it's in front of you. But I'm saying if you have to go 3 days without drinking water, you're not going to die. And your thyroid ain't going to kill you immediately. Some of y'all need to be worried about heart disease and diabetes. For real.
Let's see here. Yes, you say, I hope you have a wonderful evening, Demetri. In light of Christmas Eve being Sunday, will you all be having a show on Tuesday? I'm gonna have a show on Sunday that I know of, unless if something comes up. But I don't celebrate Christmas at all. Tuesday is actually my daughter's birthday, and she always has all these grand plans for me. And I said, well, I'm not gonna not do both of my shows on Tuesday. Maybe we could do something the day before or whatever. But yeah, so the day after Christmas is my daughter's birthday, so I plan to be here. So I have to figure something out. Let's see here. Thunder says, Demetri K, please let Walter know about the radio. I will. I wouldn't be surprised if he has one. He doesn't have one already. Curly Girl, you say, while everybody's heads are turned and distracted on these pagan days, my head will be on purchasing and prepping. Yeah, and if you were going to do Black Friday or something like that, after Christmas sales, be trying to get that stuff, right? So that's a very good idea. Thunder, you say that the medication is called Go Lightly. And let me tell you, there's nothing lightly about Go Lightly. I took the pills. I didn't want to take because I took the liquid before. What is it, like a gallon or so of salty water you got to drink every 15 minutes? I did that one day, the last time, and I was like, oh my God. If there's something wrong with my colon, I didn't want to do it. And even doing those pills, because what they give you a set of 2 sets of 12. So it's 24 pills altogether. So you take the first set of pills, and then several hours later, you take the second set of pills. But then you got to drink this water just so I did not want to drink any water after that. I felt like I was gonna barf drinking all that water like that. I mean, like I got up at 1:30 to take the other set, and I'm literally like jogging around the room trying to hold the pills down because I just felt like I was gonna be nauseous. And so, luckily, everything went well. So I guess it was worth it in the end. No pun intended. Juggernaut, how you doing? Hope all is well. And Buckhorse says, stop eating now. The food can last longer. Yeah, right. Don't eat as much. Michael says, I only eat lunch and dinner. Yeah, I don't. I do intermittent fasting, depending to sometimes 11, 1, sometimes even like 2, 3 if I'm too busy. And Curly Girl says, yeah, yes, our stomach have to rest sometimes. Yeah, but you think about it, especially here in America, people's stomach don't rest. It's food all time, everywhere. Morning, noon, night, and in between. You're always eating if you really think about it. So, like I said, when I stopped eating sugar, I noticed just how much I was eating and how much sugar I was eating. And I thought I was one of those people, I don't eat that much sugar. But then when I stopped eating, I was like, damn, there's no telling how many grams of sugar I was consuming a day. And I work out, but I don't work out as much as I used to. And I'm actually seeing results, not working out as much as I used to, but just cutting back the sugar and, being cognizant, of course, of what I'm eating and drinking water. But yeah, I used to go hard in the paint, working out, still do kind of, but not every day. And I wasn't seeing that many results, but now I'm seeing results. I'm like, oh, okay, I might have me a little 2-pack by the time I die. I don't know. Thunder says, where are you? I swear if I see you holding a Pyrex pot and a mason jar, I'm going to die laughing. Who? Walter? Who? Rod says, some food can be grown in containers if space is limited. It works better with food that have a shallow roots. Yeah, I was actually researching that the other day. Some green stuff because I was talking to my daughter about it. I was like, well, we need to try to grow something. I'm not really wanting to go outside or whatever to grow stuff. So I was thinking about maybe what can we grow in the house. And I saw some greenery that we could grow. He says, yes, sis, that's why I eat once a day between 4 and 6 gives my body time to eject the toxins. Yeah, that's actually a really good time to eat because at 6 o'clock, you're winding down maybe. And, probably shortly after that, you're going to go to bed. So you still have some time to digest what you ate. But yeah, we could do it. Get used to eating once a day. It's mind over matter. It really is. Like I said, when I did it Sunday, I was so busy. I was like, damn, am I going to have time to eat? Because, you have to start taking the pills at a certain time. And after that, you really can't eat. You can't eat anyway. It was like broth, and stuff like that. But I hadn't had anything up until that point. So I was like, okay, that wasn't that bad. Because my daughter's like, you're not hungry? I said, no. And especially when you get to drinking all that water, it's like, no, you're not hungry because it fills your stomach up. William says, Kiti Awadu, he says, has great books on fasting and living superfood. Okay. And Thunder says, you have gone a lot when you can do is just pat it from the go lightly. It's just pat it from the go lightly. I'm not quite sure what that means, but yeah, like you said, there was nothing go lightly about that. You're like, okay, I'm good. And like, I was tired, so I was trying to lay down, and no sooner than I laid down, I was like, gotta run to the bathroom. My daughter was busting up. I was like, this ain't funny. Buckhorse says, Minister of Wellness has some great fasting products. Yes, Minister of Wellness is good too. Brother Simon says, ever notice Santa and Satan spelled with the same letters? Also, one of his names is Old Nick. It's a same name used to identify the devil. Yep. A lot of people won't pick up on that. I never taught my daughter about Santa Claus. Never, ever. We never even had the conversation of, Santa Claus is, no, your mama and your daddy went and got all these presents or whatever, And Curly Girl says, Demetri, I saw you on the broadcast with your afro and you were so beautiful. Oh, thank you so much. I love and appreciate you for that. I wear my afro every once in a while. If anybody's ever worn an afro, especially being a natural, wearing your hair natural, which is, it grows out of our hair, right? Our head like that. But if I was to wear my hair like that all the time, I would pick it out because unfortunately with natural hair, it is kind of on the it can be brittle. So you know, you're raking through it, you're picking through it, you know, and every day it would just break off and stuff like that. So I actually only comb through my hair once a week, and that's when I wash it. I don't comb through my hair every day. So I try my best. Like now the way I'm wearing it, it's pretty shrunk up. Um, it's pretty shrunk, but I'll wet it, you know, and then I'll smash it down as much as I can, and you know, all of that. But I don't comb through my hair but once a week, and that's another way to help it grow. Especially when you're natural, you don't snatch it out, and you know it's a lot. That's why I tell people too. When you see, you hear that conversation with, well, why sisters wear wigs and weaves and stuff. I don't wear them, but I get why people wear them because it's just easier to take care of your hair, especially if you're natural. You're not trying to do the perms because we know relaxers is bad for you. It causes you, you know, potentially cancer and a whole lot of other stuff. So the next thing is as natural, and I can't really wear French braids because they tear my hair out. You know, I like my edges, so it rip my edges out. So I really can't do braids as much as I used to. So I have to find different ways to wear them. But I love wearing an afro, but wearing it every day, it wouldn't last. So I every once in a while I wear it. Uh, William said, "Go lightly works in 30 minutes or less, and it makes you run to the toilet, and it's hard on the abs. You ain't lying." Because at first when I took it, I was like, okay, this is cool, this is cool. Then it just hit you all of a sudden, and it just doesn't stop for like hours, you know. And then when it stopped and I fell asleep, I had to set my alarm for 1:30 to start the process all over again. I was like, ain't this some shit? I'm just playing. No pun intended. No, all the pun intended. Hey, brother Todd, how are you? You say peace, Demetria. Hope to see you in Detroit for Savior's Day. I'm working on it. I always say I'm going to go. I don't see anything stopping me from going this year. I know my father is definitely going to go. So I may be accompanying him. He usually goes with the brothers from the mosques there in Antelope Valley, Los Angeles. They kind of go back and forth, Temple 27 in Los Angeles. So he usually goes with them. So I'm going to do my best to accompany him to Savior's Day. And I look forward to being there. Buckhorse says, yes, Black women look so cute with afros. I love an afro. I really do. And Rod says, Black hair is so fragile. We have to protect it. Yeah. And I don't think people really understand it. Our hair is really fragile. Anybody with natural hair know you ain't just combing it all day long and raking it and, you know, picking it because it ain't going to last. You'll be bald headed, you know, and then you want to do some hair retention. That's what I do. I don't comb my hair every day. Once a week, I'll actually comb through it. To get it like this, I'll spray it with some, you know, water and oil and, you know, style it, whatever. I'll brush it up or whatever. I got a band around it. Man, you know, do what I got to do. But I don't comb through my hair because I'm trying to grow it. I'm as big as I can, I think. Thunder says, so put this, he says, bowfang, bow, okay, like bow, like the front of a ship, fang, like what's a bowfang, got you, bowfang radio, UVR, 5R, got you. And Brother Sam says, a gift to those who are seeking to improve their diet. Happy Savior's Day, How to Eat to Live book. 1 complete chapters, audio reading now available. Alhamdulillah. He says YouTube. So yes, you can see it on YouTube. I have them over there on my bookshelf. I have to go get up to get them. It's funny because I just had them on my desk the other day. I had to give me another bookshelf. I guess that's a blessing, right? To have to get another bookshelf. That means you have a lot of books. I actually need me a reading chair so I can commit to reading because I feel like if I have an area designated for me to read, then I'll actually sit and I'll read like I'm supposed to. But yeah, I have 1 and 2, How to Eat to Live. So I don't know where Walter is. You know, Walter wears many hats. I am says best books right there. Yeah, really good advice. But as I say, you know, eat once a day, and if you can, get to every 3 days. Because, we really don't need that much food. And then when you are fasting, your body does have a chance to heal. So there's a lot of good benefits to fasting. But I'm more or less intermittent fasting. And I know when you intermittent fast, you don't eat as much. I'm lucky sometimes if I get usually I'll only eat one meal a day. Might have a protein shake or something like that um, after I work out, but not all day long. Like a lot of people are just eating all day long. And when you stop eating all day, then you look at it, other people's habits, you're like, damn, I used to eat like that. Because when I went on a cruise with my family, if you've ever been on a cruise, there's food everywhere. It's free, right? It comes with the price of admission. When you get your ticket, the food is free. So there's food everywhere. All day long, there's food, there's drinks. All you got to do is just go up and, hey, I want a hamburger. I want a burrito. I want this. I want that. And I, at the time, wasn't really used to eating that much. I'm like, damn, I know I'm going to be 10 pounds heavy by the time I get off this damn ship. So I try my best not to, eat all day long, but it's like, damn, you're on the ship, you're bored, you're going to eat. So I tried my best to go to the gym as much as I could because they have a gym on the ship as well. But it made me cognizant of just how much people eat. It's like, we don't need to eat that much. And then, of course, when I went to Japan, I was like, wow, we are very greedy in the United States. We are greedy people because their portions are really small. But over here, they try to kill you with the portions that they give you. So Thunder says, I can't say it enough. Please stock up. Yeah, absolutely. My daughter thinks I'm crazy. Every time we go to the store, I'm like, we need some water. She says, we got water. I said, no, you don't understand. Mos Def has a song, New World Water. He was like, F a bank, he gonna need a water tank, and that's real. It was the name of the album it was just right on the tip of my tongue. Black on Both Sides. That album, New World Water, and Mos Def talks about it. It was like 25 years ago, maybe at this point that the album came out, and he was talking about water. Water is going to be, if not already, a hot commodity. So you have to stock up on it. And Buckhurst says, I only eat twice a day. Yeah, and twice a day is better than 3 times a day, But yeah, a lot of people chew 5 times a day, some people will eat. And it ain't like an apple, Sometimes when people think of a snack, and you think of a snack, it's like an apple, right? Okay, I'm gonna have an apple as a snack. I'm a little hungry, I'm gonna eat an apple. People snack nowadays is chili cheese fries or nachos, or that's like, no, that's a meal actually, Manrico says, during the fasted period of intermittent fasting, you will be surprised at how much more energy you have. Yeah, I like to work out fasting. I don't like to eat and then work out. I like to work out while I'm fasting because I feel like I get better results. And there is a lot of energy. I just feel like if I work out with food on my stomach, I ain't going to be into it as much, especially when I do Zumba. I like to have nothing on my stomach but water. I try to hydrate before I go, because I don't like to stop and go keep getting my water bottle. I like to just hydrate, go all the way through, and then I drink all of my water afterwards. So I love to work out in a fasted state. So absolutely. Anyway, so what other questions y'all have? Got about 10 more minutes on here. I don't know what else we can really talk about. I know there's so much more going on in the world. Maria, you say the CEO of Nestle Corporation said people are not entitled to have water. Yes. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Basically, we are, I'm to the point, I'm old enough, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I remember people have to buy water outside of what you was paying for your water bill, right? Now we're buying water. Most people won't drink tap water. I won't drink the water out the sink. The only way I'll drink it is if I'm heating it up or something, like for some coffee or tea or something like that. But I'm not going to just put my cup to the faucet, even though I say, no, you're good, it's safe. I'm not putting my cup to the faucet and filling it up and drink it. Not me. I drink a spring water anyway. I don't drink anything but spring water. I won't put nothing else in my cup but spring water. I can't do it. And for years, I've been like that. It's been spring water. No purified, no distilled. Now, even if it says drinking water, it has to say spring water. But you can't get that. I don't think that comes out of your tap. So actually sometimes smells like bleach. And Thunder, you said this movie came out at the right time. We need to act accordingly. Yeah, and watch it again. I'm gonna watch it again because I think it's very telling. I love movies like that. And William says, actually own any rifles bigger than 22 caliber. So you're saying that's what you should have. Okay. And then Buckhorse says, how long do you work out? It just depends. When I go to Zumba, it's an hour. When I lift weights, I lift weights at home. It's probably about 30 minutes to 45 minutes. If I go running, I'm starting back to run now. Remember, I told y'all in June, actually, when I went on the cruise, I was at my father's house and I tripped over something in his house and I jacked my ankle up and it just now getting better. I must have had a hairline fracture or something. I was even having to wrap it up. So last week, I was like, okay, let me go out and see if I can actually run. And I ran only a half a mile because I didn't want to like risk it, but it was fine. It didn't hurt the next day or anything like that. So I'll run for however long it takes me to do 2 miles. I'll walk, run. So that's usually about a half an hour if I'm walking, running it. I try to do like 8 miles a lap. You know, I know that's probably slow to some people, but hey, I'm 52 years old. I can run though. It's funny because in California we have this mountain called Mount Rubidoux, and that's what I would hike sometimes twice a day. And I went the last time I went with my nephew. He's 14, and my nieces and my daughter, they were behind us talking. But my nephew, he's very athletic, and so he was running up the hill, the mountain. Then he would stop, and then I was just walking, walking, and so I caught up to him. He says, "Damn!" I was like, every time I looked, and they call me Tia. He's like, Tia's like those old women that just keep walking, and eventually they catch up to you. I was like, watch it, sucker. Talking about some old women. But he's like, you be moving. I'm like, I'm 52. I ain't dead. So it just depends on what I'm doing. But I actually enjoy working out. Brother Simon says, in America, we call fat people healthy and thin people sick. The devil is indeed a liar. Yeah. Yeah, that's how it is. You know, back in the day, I used to remember my grandmother and them talking about being streamlined. The goal was to be streamlined. Now, streamlined didn't mean you were like bony, right? It just meant that you looked streamlined. You weren't bulging out all of your clothes and, you know, all that other stuff. You were fit. You were in shape. They ate pretty much everything they wanted, but it was in moderation, right? They didn't eat all day and they didn't have the ability to because there wasn't a lot of fast food around back then. I mean, even when I was growing up, they had McDonald's and stuff, but now there's food on every part of the corner or block. There's food everywhere. Like, how could you not? I understand why people are fat in America because there's food everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's food. You know, I as I was telling my daughter the other day, I said, I grew up in a generation of thaw that meat out when you come home. When you get out of school, thaw that meat out. And that thought of meat out was put it in some, you know, sink in some water. You know, God forbid you forgot to do that, then well, there goes dinner, you know. So that I come from that generation. So yeah, you're right, Brother Samuel. It is bizarro world. 504 firefighter, how you doing? He says, I hope that movie comes true. This world needs to end. Well, damn. You tired of being here? And Thunder says, you were down there in Texas when the governor of that city said, we are not responsible for you. And this was right after the freeze and the power outage. Yeah, boy, I tell you, I got here right before the freeze happened. So I showed up in October of 2020. Was it February of 2021? Texas showed his natural behind. I was like, what is going on here? I'm from sunny Southern California. I'm not used to this. I mean, it was just chaos, you know, but it proved to myself, you know, my daughter, how industrious we actually were, you know, because we got the snow, we saved it, melted it, because you couldn't flush the toilets, none of that, because nothing was working, right? So we got snow in buckets that we had, and we let it melt, and we used that to flush the toilet. And of course, we had water stockpile and stuff. And so, you know, we made do. And my daughter, she has an electric car, and she actually has a plug in her car. So, you know, we're able to do stuff in there as well, you know, to like make stuff, plug up stuff. But you never know how industrious you are until you have to figure out how industrious you are. Roger says, I filter my tap water. I have a Brita filter and all that as well, just in case, you know. And they actually said that kind of makes the water's alkaline that way. I heard that. I don't know how true that is when you use the Brita filter. Thunder says, I'm not sure. It says, I'm not sure what city it was, but I know it's a city in Texas. And one of the officials had actually made that statement. Oh, I don't doubt it at all. But a lot of people were on their own. I mean, you had people who literally froze to death in their beds. It was a little boy, I think he was like 11, and he froze to death in his bed. Black America says, you should try and drink some fresh well water. Well, where? I love to try it. You know what's, when I was in Japan, we were at Mount Fiji, and they have fresh spring water coming from Mount Fiji. And you could get your water cup or your bottle, and they let you fill it up. It was so good. So I don't know if that's the same as mountain water, and it was flowing down, and they had it, just kind of flowing, and everybody got to fill their water up. It was really good, or their cup up. So I did get to experience that. And let's see, Rod says, our elders were not as sedentary as we are. Hey, Damon, how you doing? You a little late, but you made it. Yeah, they weren't. They moved around, right? They walked to the store. It was nothing for them to walk to the store. Now you tell somebody to walk to the store, that's far. Because see, when I was in California, I had a car, but I would walk to the store. Sometimes it was 2 miles there and 2 miles back. Me and my daughter, we would just go walking, leave our house early in the morning, walk all the way into downtown and walk around, and then we would come back. And that sometimes that was like a 5-6 mile trek, there and back. But I was used to doing that. Like walking doesn't bother me. Just here in Texas, you can't really walk too far in certain areas to the store because there's no sidewalks, right? And the nearest store to where I am, I could walk it. I've walked that far before. Just not conducive to do that because, like I said, the sidewalk situation and stuff like that. But I'm a walker. It does not bother me to walk. I love to walk. I mean, like I said, when I was in California, me and my friend, every day, we would do like 7 miles. 7 miles in addition to earlier that day, because when she would go on her lunch break, we would go up to Mount Rubin on the mountain, and we would do 2 miles really quick. So, no, actually, it was 2 miles up and then 1 mile down. She'd go to work, and then I'd meet back up with her by the mountain, and then we walk all around downtown, all the way, and make a big giant circle. That's about 6-7 miles. I did that every day. Sometimes I would get in 40,000 steps a day. So I'm a walker. Walking doesn't bother me. But nowadays people don't like to do that. Let's see here. JC says I had to start comb through twice a week because it wanted to lock. Yeah, I moisturize and keep it wrapped. It grows fast. Love the fro sis. Yes. Yeah, sometimes you have to comb through. I try only to comb through my hair once a week during wash day after I've washed it and, put some like shea butter stuff on it. And kind of comb through it with a special brush so I don't tear my hair out. And then I'll twist it up, let it air dry. I don't put heat on my hair at all. I don't put heat on my hair. I don't do anything other than wash it, condition it, put some a hair mask on it, put a cap on it for a little while, then rinse it out, put shea butter on it, and I make certain oils for my scalp so my hair will grow. And I twist it up and then let it air dry until I want to wear it out again. I don't comb my hair every day, believe it or not. If I'm leaving the house, I comb my hair. And sometimes I wear like a little neat hat or something with earrings to avoid raking through my hair. But I usually really only comb my hair out like if I'm going somewhere or if I'm on here, because I never want to come before you all with, looking crazy. Brother Sally says the fluoride in the tap water and curs deactivate are deadly to your health. Fluoride makes people more susceptible to cancer and causes 30 to 50,000 deaths each year. Drugs masquerading as food. Oh yeah, most definitely. Especially when you go to the dentist. They tell me, you want some fluoride? Hell no, I don't. You sure? No, I'm positive. Thank you. I don't want any fluoride. Thank you. So you're right. Curly Girl says, I'm a once a week too, sis. Yeah, if you know, you ain't gonna be raking through your hair every day. That's why I'm like, it's ludicrous for people to say, oh, y'all need to be wearing your hair more natural. I mean, it's not ludicrous. We should wear hair natural, but it's a process too. You know what I mean? It's definitely a process. It's not, y'all. I know a lot of times y'all see the afro and it's like, oh, that's nice. should wear it more often. I'm like, y'all know I would love to wear my afro more often, especially, but being in Houston, especially during the summer, that ain't gonna happen. You're not gonna rock no afro in the summer because I have a lot of shrinkage on my hair, so it's not like it's flowing. It'll be. I am says from the soil.com has great combs and picks for your hair. Kaz Maliji, is that how you say it? Okay. You write that down. I just have a plastic pick. And that's what I use in a brush. And Thunder says, do you think it's a good idea to watch episodes of Doomsday Preppers to get some ideas of episodes on YouTube? I think you told me about that once. I have to check them out. Then I can give you a better answer. But yeah, if they're teaching you about how to survive the zombie apocalypse, yeah, I'm with it. I think my daughter watches it, if I'm not mistaken, but I'd have to check it out. Rod says, better test and make sure that well water is good first. I have a well, but the water is no good. So yeah, you don't want to be sucking up on no, nasty well water. Michael said, Demetri, what is your opinion about Asian women wearing locks, braids, etc.? I actually have a video coming out on African Diaspora News Channel next week sometime about that. I don't necessarily have a problem with it as long as it's how can I say this? Because it's kind of, I don't want to go so far as to say it's culture vulturing. It can be, especially if you're not paying respect to where it came from. Culture vulturing is when you're taking it and trying to pretend like, oh, well, we came up with this, or you're just negating where you got the idea from, which is why I'm one of those people to say, especially with Black women, a lot of people envy us. They just do, but we don't realize that, right? Like our hair, all that other stuff. We trying to be like somebody else instead of just being our natural, beautiful Black selves. But yeah, I don't have a problem with them wearing it, but just, don't forget where you got it from, and I say that same thing to the sisters, walking around with, as some people say, wearing somebody else's hair. Really don't have too much to say about somebody else wearing your hair per se, and you wearing somebody else's hair. But wouldn't it be nice if we just accepted ourselves and wear our own hair, but again, I can't tell people what to do. I am says cosmetology is how it's pronounced. Oh, cosmetology, cosmology. Okay. Because I used to have a cosmetology license. Mickey, how you doing? He says, cosmology. Oh, okay, got it. Cosmology. Okay. So that's good to know. I will look them up. And how you doing, by the way? And Dave, he says, good show, Doomsday Preppers. Okay, I have to check that out as well. I wrote it down. Black America's natural hair is not really, natural hair is not really that cute. I would rather a bald-headed woman. Don't want perm, get the hot comb. But of course, she says, I watch Doomsday. You got to be ready. Okay. And Thunder says, the dollar store is a great place to get medical supplies on the cheap. Yep, it surely is. Hey, Harold, how you doing? It says, tuned in from Cincinnati. And Curly Girl says, white people can't wear locks. They wear dreads. We as Black people wear locks. Yep. I agree with that. Rodney says, good idea to watch, have a plan. I think of different scenarios. Plan A, plan B. What if your homestead is compromised? Think of how to move. www FEMA gov has good info. I'm going to check all that out because, we need to know those things. Being a single girl in the world, there's just things that I have to know. And I think about my singleness every time I have to do stuff that a man would do, like climbing ladders and changing things and, all that other stuff and fixing stuff. Like I told y'all, my air conditioning installation was kind of old. So I was like, oh, I could do that. It looks pretty easy. And I did. I ordered the stuff and I just fixed it myself. So yeah, I would say that I am pretty industrious. My daughter, she learned how to change her own battery because she has an electric car. So she actually has 2 batteries. And her father, she got on FaceTime with him and he walked her through everything. And because they want to charge us like $250 to change the battery. And we was like, oh, hell to the no. We're going to get on YouTube and figure out how to do it. And so Her dad, they got on YouTube and they was on FaceTime and he walked her through everything and she changed the battery herself and saved $250. You know, Sam's having to buy the new battery, but it's like, is you crazy? I'll pay you that kind of money to change it. It wasn't worth no 200 something dollars to pay somebody else to do it. But it's amazing the stuff that you learn when you have no choice to learn it, right? So yeah. Macy M, how you doing? Said dreadlocks, okay. And Damon says basic for prepping dry and canned goods. Alexa Pure or something cheap for water filtration, med kit, and power tools. Absolutely, I do have some power tools. And I am. You say, love my locks. I've been natural for 9 years, and it's been blacktastic. You know, I thought about locks, and I'll be honest with you. Only reason why my hair sticking up, I wouldn't do locks is because after a while they kind of tear your hair out. Because my sister, she had locks, they were really long, but her hair was starting to thin because when you twist in the locks, you know, you first of all you putting tension on your hair, and then where does the dead hair go? The dead hair is in the locks, right? And so it just gets heavier and heavier and heavier. And I'm not saying this about you or anybody that's wearing locks, but most people I've seen with locks, they have a lot of traction alopecia, you know, throughout their hair because the locks are just, you know, eventually too much on your scalp, and then they end up needing to get them cut off. So that's why I wouldn't want to do locks. And plus I like to do all kind of different things with my hair, but locks are very pretty. But for me, yeah, I'd be bald headed. I ain't gonna lie. Mickey says, my mom just told me about how she learned to install a ceiling fan and speaker bathroom fan. You say, I was impressed. Those high service fees aren't worth it. Yeah, that's what make you learn how to do the stuff yourself. The high service fees. So yeah, you know, you just kind of learn how to do things, you know. Shoot, the other day I helped somebody change their battery. And I'm like, oh, okay. That wasn't hard at all. Not even just not the battery, but the cables. You know, so you'll be surprised on what you can learn. Thunder says, guerrilla gardening is also an option, plant-based in areas that the city controls with automatic watering system. Yeah, where I'm from in California, they have a lot of those. And Maria, if I didn't already, how you doing? It says locks are heavy too when they get long. Yeah, because the hair, it doesn't shed. Like, do you take up the shedding hair out? No, you just keep wrapping and wrapping and wrapping, right? You don't de-shed the lock. So it does get very heavy and it pulls. So that's for me why I couldn't do it. Like I said, I like having a hairline. But that's why I love braids. But yeah, they tear my hair out every time. Have me thin right up in here. So I don't do them. Thunder says, I didn't know you could order from the dollar store online. Thank you so much for this information, Washington. I didn't know that either. Okay, so you're responding to Roz. I.M. says, no, I got to take care of them, detox them, natural oils. Okay, yeah. I get that. And there's a lot of people who take care, you know, do locks and stuff. Locticians, I guess that's what they're called. And Curly Girl says, I saw a brother locks to his ankle, so beautiful and nice. Ooh, that would be so heavy. I had some crochets one time, a couple times, and some long ones. I'm like, oh, these mugs is heavy. And then when you take them out, it's like, my head is so light. So I can imagine having locks that long. Oh my God. Roy, how you doing? He says the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, accept your own and be yourself. Yes. Imagine if we did that, you know, accept your own and be yourself. Except that you have natural hair, and yeah, it's not gonna be as easy as silky straight. Or if you got it permed and all that other stuff, it ain't gonna be as easy. But if you accept that, be yourself, then you know the rest is easy. It's acceptance, right? I know certain things I gotta do to my hair to make it do what it do, and that's fine. I just take the time to do it. But you know, straightening and putting chemicals in it, that's in the end. I mean, you already know that the FDA, I think it is trying to ban certain relaxers because they're like, oh, okay, yeah, after all, they causing people problems. But there's a lot of sisters, and I guess some men too, they don't care. They're like, I'm not gonna stop perming my hair. That's one of the reasons why I don't, because I'm not trying to get cancer, you know, or nothing like that. I am says brushing them and massaging your scalp is a must with locks. Yeah, even if you don't have locks, you should, you know, massage your scalp. I do that, massage my scalp, and you know, just try to take good care of my hair. Curly Girl says, I didn't know what he did, but he still had all his hair. Yeah, he must taking good care of his follicles. Maria says, had a male friend, auto mechanic. I can hold a flashlight like nobody's business. Right, but you ain't got somebody around, shit. You need to hold that the flashlight in your mouth or whatever. And get to turning some wrenches or whatever. I don't know. Those are some of the things you got to do. When you're single, you ain't got a man around. I'm not from here, so I don't have a lot of other resources. So kind of my daughter and I, we kind of gotta do things on our own, learn how to do things, and it works out. It makes you tough in the end. You do learn how to take care of yourself, and plus my dad is a mechanic, so I know a little bit about cars, a little bit. Ian says yes, he did. All praises due to Allah, absolutely. And Rodney says, gotta sign off. I share the show. I thank and love you so much for that. He says, love from Atlanta, my powerful, beloved community, and Queen Tia. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for sharing this show and everything else that you share. And Ian says, yeah, they're putting forth class action lawsuits for those relaxers. Yeah, but I think it's common sense that those relaxers aren't good for you, right? Curly Girl says, yeah, I have to turn a screwdriver a lot myself. Yep. You just learn how to get around, right? You learn how to do things. But it's all good. It's things as skills that you'll have, right? My daughter bakes our bread, and she showed me how to do it the other day. I was like, oh, we ain't never buying bread again. So we're baking our own bread and that kind of stuff, which I love because we're not putting all the extra additives and preservatives and stuff in there. Just, what needs to go in there, the yeast, the flour, salt. I think it's water or the milk. Shit, I forget at this point. But yeah, we're making our own bread. So anyway, I love and appreciate y'all. I don't know where Walter went. I think he fell off the damn grid somewhere. But anyway, we'll be back here on Sunday, which is Christmas Eve. If you guys are going to be celebrating Christmas Eve or holidays, you guys do have a great holiday. For now, I think that I'll be here. I may not. I don't know. I may just take the day off. But if Donovan's not doing anything, he said he's going to be eating pork and beans. So I might do the show to save him from that. We'll be here on Sunday. But again, if y'all do celebrate the holidays, you do have a great holiday. And I hope you get everything you want. In the meantime, y'all have a great evening. Peace.